Hey guys. Nice to see y'all again. Today we coming through with something a little different, but I recently saw a video where somebody asked the question of who's the misunderstood video game villain of all time. And I got 5 names up here. And I'm going to let you know if I think that they're misunderstood or they're completely in the wrong and they're understood completely well by everybody. Let me know what y'all think in the comments as well, man. It's just a little something different. Let me know if y'all fucks with it. I shouldn't be cussing this early into the video. I got 5 different names with 4 different games. Y'all go see. First things first, we're going to start with the one that the guy in the video said. He said Dutch van der Linde from Red Dead Redemption 2. And the more that I thought about it, because when I first heard that, I was like, nah, you're bugging. But the more that I hear about it, the more I kind of see it. And obviously, I'm not looking at it like as a villain in the grand scheme of the world, because everybody in the game is. Like the whole thing is like you guys are objectively bad people. Like that's what it is. But I'm talking more so when it comes to like their life and what they've done and what he ended up doing at the end of their game. Which if you haven't played it, I don't know why you're watching this video, but if you have, Dutch van der Linde low-key has like psychosis. He loses his mind like during this game, and he continuously leads his team into very, very bad situations. He gets manipulated by a guy named Micah. That's a villain who's I don't even have him on the list. Not misunderstood, bad fucking guy. But he gets manipulated by him. Micah's a very smart guy though, because he took advantage of somebody who was very he was evidently mentally weak from the beginning of the game, because he continuously made bad decisions. He was like, every single game member kept like making remarks about how different he's been acting, or like how he's more violent and less like calculated and intelligent with what he's doing. And then it all culminates to the end of the game when, first of all, it all starts off with he leaves John Marston die. They lie and say that he died, when in reality he was just locked up in prison. Then that makes you think, oh, he really doesn't have the gang's best interest in heart if he's just going to leave somebody who he considered a son out high and dry to die. After that, it all culminates into a final scene with Arthur, who's dying from tuberculosis, pointing a gun at Micah because Micah's lying and saying that you're a traitor. Evidently, you're obviously not a traitor. You're completely loyal. And this is a very emotional game. If you've never played it, play it. Some people say that Arthur himself is a misunderstood villain. He's just a misunderstood character. It really depends on how you play the game, whether he's a villain or not. It's very decision based, obviously. So, once you make those decisions and then you become what you are, then you'll find out you're misunderstood or not, basically. But at this point, Micah's fully in his head. And everything Micah says is basically dictating how Dutch acts. Like Micah added a lot of his friends into the group who just like don't care. They suck. They're like basically like pirates. Not in like a sea shanty type of way, but in a way of like they're just trying to steal shit and go away, and they don't really care about the other people in the group or the people around them in general. So during this time, there's a fight at the top of the mountain. At least with my decision that I always make, because this is one of the games that is so hard for me to play differently, because the way that I play is the best way to play the game. Like, and I know that sounds crazy, but that's the truth. Like, it's the best way that I play the game. Honestly. But when you're on this mountain, you have a fight with Micah, and you win or lose, it doesn't really matter. Dutch saves Micah, basically. And you're dying on the floor. And then you look up at Dutch, and he looks like he regrets everything he's done. And he has moments of clarity that you can't see, but it doesn't matter. He realizes he's in too deep, and he has to just keep going with these bad decisions that he's made. And then in the prologue, when you're John Marston, and then you find Micah and Dutch decides to shoot Micah. And then he goes back into his thing. So that's him really coming to his full clarity moment of, this man made me worse than what I am, and this man made me into a terrible human being. Not even just a terrible human being in general, but he made me betray the people who I considered my family, and I was unaware because of where I am mentally. Now, obviously, he dissolves worse, as you see in Red Dead 1. He hints at cannibalism and things like that. Like, he's genuinely a maniac. But in these moments of clarity, you can see that he's deeply regretful for what he's done. But Is that enough to make him misunderstood for me? I do not know, because it's happened. Like, it happened throughout the whole game. I know people, like, it's probably like, oh, like, I did just say that Micah did implement a lot of stuff into his mind, but prior to Micah even joining the gang, he had to have had thoughts like this, or he just like needed one push to act like this. And like, I understand people might say, oh, once this happens, or like everyone has a little like threshold or like a breaking point where it's like, okay, once you hit this, like once somebody introduces you to it, there's no going back, and everybody has a threshold. But it seemed like his threshold was pretty light. And I'm not at all saying that like I'm a moral high ground or anything like that. I'm not living that life, so I don't have those opportunities. I don't think I'd take those opportunities. But in these moments where he's choosing between evil and morality, he continuously chooses evil, and then he feigns morality, or he feigns like he's taking, like he's doing the greater good. He's like, oh, I did this for the gang. Oh, I did this for you guys. You guys are really ungrateful. And an easy way to tell if somebody is in the wrong, or somebody is like not fully, what's the best way to say that? Somebody's not fully, like they're fully conscious of their decision being incorrect, is like by the way that they act, or by the way that they act when you say that you disagree with their decision. Because if they get instantly defensive, start calling you out of your name and things like that, usually means that they understand that they were wrong, but they're trying to hide behind their decision. And that's what he did on multiple occasions throughout the game, especially in conversations with Arthur. So I would say he's really middle ground when it comes to being misunderstood, or just plain evil. Because like, he has moments of clarity, like I said prior, but even in those moments of clarity, sometimes he easily feigns back to, you know, whatever. I did what I did, and I'm going to try to frame it as me doing the right thing, which inherently is an issue in this game, as we see time and time and time again. But he had a plan, man. He had a plan. Next up, I got Josh from Until Dawn. And I know this is probably crazy for people who have played the game, but I've seen it, I've played it, I've done all these different things within that game. And there are a lot of points where you see it and you're like, first of all, Josh is extremely mentally ill, which is the main point of every single villain usually, is that they're extremely mentally ill. So like, this is what happens when you are untreated, or you refuse treatment for mental illnesses. So if you find yourself having a mental illness, please get help, get therapy, get some sort of assistance, please. I'm begging. Like, truly, it is a serious thing. The mind is the most important thing of the body, the heart and the mind. But you can see that he's extremely torn up because he doesn't have a good relationship with his parents, as he mentions on multiple occasions. And the two people in his family that he loved the most are now dead. And his friends, in his mind, and in most people's minds, to be honest, in my mind, are responsible for what happened to them. Of course, Hannah reacted very immaturely to that sort of thing, but it was an immature prank. It was really disrespectful to her in her own family's home to do that to her when they invited you guys to a lodge, like $1 million lodge. Y'all got invited to that and decided, you know what, we're gonna prank one of our best friends who invited us to this thing because she likes one of us, and we're gonna record it. And we're going to have everybody in the room. And we know how much she likes this guy. It's fucking lame. I'm being honest. It's fucking lame. And the more I like see that game or play that game, it's one of the weirdest dynamics. A lot of the group does not fit together. And it's like one of those friend groups where it's like 3 of them stand their own side, 3 of them stand their own side, and then 2 of them stand their own side. But they all just hang out together. You know what I mean? Like, if you put one person from this part of the group and this person from this part of the group together, they would not mesh at all. They wouldn't even communicate. Because we have somebody like Emily who's, like, extremely obnoxious, but inherently very, like, intelligent, but, like, still so obnoxious. I cannot imagine her dynamic with somebody like Chris or Sam. Like, I feel like that wouldn't even be a good conversation to have. But that's neither here nor there. I feel like Josh did take it too far on a lot of occasions. He genuinely did. When he faked his own death, that was too far. When he gave Ashley a black eye, when he faked like Chris, like to give Chris a situation to either shoot the girl that he's had a crush on for like a very long time, or shoot himself. Crazy situation to put your best friend into, putting all of your best friends into this situation is crazy. I understand what they did, but they are still your best friends. But the big misunderstood part is that he didn't kill anybody. Like, he didn't kill anybody. The craziest thing he did, low-key, I forgot about this. Why the fuck did he cut the radio tower? Okay, he might not be that misunderstood. Because the radio tower falling sideways, he didn't think it would kill, what's his name? Matt. But it does if you don't make the right decision. And also, do you really think that they're going to survive that shit? They fell from the radio tower into a hole, and it went all the way in the fucking hole, and they were in a tunnel. The fact that they lived through that is a fucking miracle. What did you think was going to happen, bro? What did you think was going to happen? And putting your best friend in situations like, oh, are you going to kill me or the girl you had a crush on your whole life, is crazy. Because evidently you know that you're not going to die. But she's going to know that he would have picked you over her in that situation if you do end up picking to save Josh, which nobody ever does, because who the fuck would do that? Josh was always kind of weird. But he didn't kill anybody. In the grand scheme, he's not even really the main villain of this game. Mike doesn't even deal with Josh shit. Mike deals with the Wendigos from episode 1. A lot of this shit is Wendigo things that are happening. The people who really faced like the big stuff by Josh was Ashley and Chris. Those were the two that really dealt, and Sam. Ashley, Chris, and Sam. Those three dealt with it the most. But I still don't think. Nah, he's a fucking maniac. See, like, I still, like, even when I wrote this name down, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good conversation to, like, how he's not really, like, he's really misunderstood. But he did do a lot of really, really fucked up things. But that's just because of his fucked up mind. And in his mind, he was thinking, oh, I'm going to make them feel the same way my sisters felt that day that they passed. But damn. Did he know about the Wendigos? No. But does that mean he's justified in what he did? No. But did he ever want to kill them? No. I don't think he wanted to kill anybody. So, like, when it comes to being plain evil, I don't think he's plain evil. But, like, I don't know. That's a hard one. Y'all gotta let me know. Because when I wrote that down, I was very heavily leaning misunderstood. But the more that I talk about it, it's like, I don't think he's really that misunderstood. He's a fucking maniac. He's a maniac. Truly. And there's a lot of help he needs, bro. That's just that's just what it is. Up next, I have, this isn't niche at all. So if I see people saying, oh, my holy ball knowledge, relax. This isn't niche. I have Maruki in Persona 5 Royale. He's the main villain of the game because of what he's able to do at the end, create a whole new reality and everything like that. And the reason why I'm saying he's misunderstood is not why you think. Usually when people say that somebody's misunderstood, they are saying like, oh, they're misunderstood because they're really just like, they're not that evil. No, I think Maruki's a fucking maniac. And people try to like downplay how insane that shit is because of one girl, which I understand is the love of your life, all that stuff. You felt the need to make sure nobody feels emotions in a correct manner, because at the end of the day, if you're not feeling pain, you're not feeling happiness in the same way, you're not feeling anything in the same way, because you don't understand how it feels like to be without that. So feeling like you need to play God and then like try to kill the people who don't want you to play God on so many accounts. If you've ever played that final fight, he fights you 4 different times. That is like, his brain is fucking fried. He made a young lady change her entire personality into being her dead sister because he didn't want her to feel pain. No, that is a cover up to me. I don't care. He is a fucking maniac. He just wanted to play God. He saw that he could do it, and then he got all this power and he lost his shit. Do I understand the pain of losing somebody you love? I don't understand it because I've never felt it, but I can understand how that could rewire your brain. It could 1,000,000% rewire your brain in a completely, like, in a wild way. Truly, I do not at all have an argument against that. My argument is simply that the steps that he took after were fucking insane and low-key morbid, bro. Like, that is morbid. Being a therapist for somebody and your therapy is psychotherapy and you make their entire personality and, like, being into acting like somebody that died, like her sister that died, that she felt responsible for her death. Your response was, oh yeah, just be her. You're a good guy? You're a good guy? You're just a misunderstood good guy? No. I beat you 2 times in this mission, and then you say, no, and you start losing your mind. It's not a good guy. He's realizing all of his power is leaving him. He no longer can be a god in this world. And he fucking lost it. That's just how I feel. That's how I feel, truly. I will never be on that side of things where it's like, oh, he's misunderstood. I cannot see the argument of him being misunderstood in a good way. He's misunderstood because people think he's good. He's a jackass. Lastly, we have 2 people from the same game, and they're both misunderstood for very different reasons. I have David and Nathan from Life is Strange. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, Nathan? So I'm going to save him for last because David's misunderstanding when it comes to the characters in this game and, like, the players in this game in general, it's very easy to concretely, like, find. He genuinely just, like, cares. It's weird. Like, I will 100,000,000% say it's weird that he has surveillance in his house without telling anybody in the house. It's weird how he surveils everybody. It's weird how he, like, kind of is like a stalker, and he's really weird about that. He is a veteran, so he does have some sort of PTSD, obviously, where he feels paranoid and he has to, like, control everything going on. I understand that completely, but it is still weird. And I do not agree with the fact that he smacked the shit out of Chloe in the face in the first episode. I do not agree with that. But Joey's bad. Like, what did I just call her? Joey? What the fuck is her name? Chloe. Sorry. Chloe's bad, bro. Like, she's bad. She does bad things, and then she talks crazy to everybody. Like, she talks insane. If my kid talked insane to me like that, she wouldn't live in the house. Like, I'm being, like, that's, like, first of all, won't happen. But if that was to happen, I'd say, you gotta go somewhere else. Because, like you're getting spanked. Like, there's no way that you're speaking to me in that manner of, fuck you, you're a piece of shit. Like, she was really talking crazy to everybody in that house. And she was doing crazy shit in the streets. She was owing men who are 2 times her age $2,000, $3,000 at 18. So I'm sorry, but she needs to be surveilled. Like, not in, like, a camera type, but people need to watch what she's doing because she's bugging the fuck out. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, what are you really, like, when I replayed this game recently, I was thinking, what are y'all doing? Like, what is this team of Max and Chloe doing all day? After they go to the diner, they go to a random abandoned place, bring a gun, shoot bottles, shoot shit for no reason. Then they get pressed by the guy who's 2 times her age about the money, and you have an option to try to shoot him. Right after that, you guys go to the train tracks. Chloe's dumbass gets stuck on the train tracks. So yeah, bro, that's just episode 2 of the game. I'm going to talk about what happened to her in episode 1 very soon. And I'm not at all trying to downplay the effects of grief. She lost her father in a very sad way, and it affects her very much. I completely understand that, for sure. That doesn't give you the right to act that way with people. It doesn't. I'm sorry. Like, regardless of what you have to say, that does not give you the right to act that way with people. Ever. I'm sorry. Or, like, it doesn't give you the right to be a fucking idiot. It doesn't give you that right. You're dumb. Yeah, sure, you can smoke weed. I don't care. You can do all that. You can smoke weed. You can, like, have fun with friends. You can do all that stuff. And you can be sad. You can be angst. That's okay. You don't get to treat people in that way. Like, when, she has a lot of moments of clarity as well later in the game and stuff. Like, when Kate called you in the diner and she gets mad at you, which pisses me off. But Kate calls and she gets mad because you answer the phone. Bitch, so excited to go to a fucking junkyard. But then she's like, oh, I'm sorry for bitching when Kate called you, type shit. Which I understand. And I understand that Max and Chloe are best friends and they're just trying to relive lost time. You know, like, they have a lot of lost time. I don't think you relive lost time by shooting cans and getting stuck on a train track. After that, of course, they have the iconic time of breaking into the school, stealing money, and then swimming in the pool of the school that you stole money from. Isn't that nice? Isn't that cool? Isn't that swaggy? Like, isn't that the way things go? Isn't that just perfect? Isn't that just a perfect way to spend your day? And then they get mad at, like, they try to make, what's his name? David seem evil because he comes into the school and tries to look for two people who broke in and stole money and were trespassing the area. Like, I completely understand people were like, oh, he was doing too much. For sure. But in that situation, he's not doing too much. You broke in and you stole a hell of money from them. He's gonna look around. You stole his keys. He's gonna be mad. What do y'all expect him to be? You are still, like, you're doing criminal acts, and his job is to stop criminal acts. Of course, he's ODing, and I can see that for sure. He OD'd crazy, but that goes on to help you guys. You text David once, he pulls up. When Mr. Jefferson had her in that basement, she texted him one time. He pulled up ready. Of course, one of the most iconic scenes in the game of all time, because he just keeps fucking dying. He doesn't know what to do, apparently, in these situations. They said, oh, kick the table at him. He kicks the table, and then he just stands there like this, waiting to get shot. Like, what the fuck are you doing? But regardless of any of that, he saves her life. He saves everybody's life in this situation. Because Chloe's dead in this lifetime. What's it called? Max is about to die. Mr. Jefferson's about to kill her. And the world's, like, the fucking tornado is about to blow up. Like, the world's about to blow up, basically. Or, like, at least the city's about to go up in water. He saves her. And then, like, for some reason, it took the gamer so long, because even the first time I played, I wasn't really fucking with him. It took the gamer so long to be like, wait, he just really cares about the people he's close to. Like, he just didn't want Chloe going out doing drugs and being dumb. He just didn't want these people to go out, like, harming themselves. So, like, yeah, he's not like they treated him like a villain for the majority of the game, for caring about how the people closest to him were. And, like, to be honest, Chloe's lucky. A lot of people have stepfathers or step family who just don't care about them. They only want to be there because there's significant others there. They don't really care about the kid. They don't ever develop a relationship. He genuinely cared about her, and he wanted her to be safe and not hang out with these people. He said it multiple times. He said, you hang out with losers. And she hung out with fucking losers. Like, Frank is a fucking loser. He's 35 years old in the trailer. His best friend is a dog, and his biggest love of all time was a teenager. He's a fucking loser. Like, yeah, you hang out with lame ass dudes and you do lame ass shit. Don't be mad when he calls you out for hanging out with lame ass dudes and doing some lame ass shit. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. And lastly, Nathan Prescott. The game starts off with him shooting Chloe. And I know I know. What a soft spot. Oh my God, you shot her best friend. She didn't. You guys didn't know that at the beginning of the game, but yeah, that's her best friend. So you rewind and then you stop from doing that. Blah blah blah. He does a lot of bad things. Drugging Kate, terrible. I think that is a horrible, horrible thing to do. Drugging Rachel to the point where she died. Terrible. I'm not even trying to downplay it. Genuinely terrible. The way that he continuously threats women and makes them feel uncomfortable is very terrible. And he's just a bad guy. But the root of the problem was how he was raised and who he was raised around. And I feel like sometimes we lose that point of the game. And the game tries to make it very obvious. And of course, you can still hate Nathan. But they're like, look at who his father is. Look at how the people around him talk about him when he's not there. They don't really fuck with Nathan. They just want to be around him because he has a bag. And he knows that. And like, he just wants to feel a real connection with somebody. He has, like, first of all, when him and Mr. Jefferson first start, like, you know, hanging out, Mr. Jefferson mentioned it. He said he felt like it was a father-son relationship. He just wants somebody to love him. He wants to, and obviously it's in his warped mind at this point because he's so paranoid and, like, genuinely insane that he's like, oh, I'll do anything for Mr. Jefferson. I will take this girl into a basement, take pictures of her, and then, you know, do her wrong because Mr. Jefferson wants me to. And that's the person who I want to impress. And he has a moment of clarity at the end right before he dies where he's like, everyone just used me. Because the only reason why Mr. Jefferson wanted to be around him was because he had money. And he wanted to buy that little dark room they had. If he didn't have money, Mr. Jefferson wouldn't give a fuck about Nathan. And that's how most of Nathan's friends are. If Nathan didn't make them parties at the end of the day, they wouldn't give a fuck about Nathan. And he knows that. And it fucking eats at his brain. I'm not at all excusing any of the shit he's done or said in the games. But that's just the truth. He was consistently used as a pawn in so many different parts of the game. To the point where even in my first playthrough, I'm like, okay, I understand Nathan is like a problem because of the way that he acts. He's very volatile, all these things. I think something's up. And then we see the emails between Nathan and his father. We see how his one support person and his sister was not around. So he kind of like started to go off the rails a bit when she left. And I'm like, okay, I see what's going on here. Complex writing by Square Enix. Good job. Good job. But yeah, let me know how y'all feel. Let me know any other villains in general, because I might do this with movies in the future. Let me know any villains in general that you think are generally misunderstood for good or bad reasons. But I'll see y'all next time. You know what it is.